Hello my YouTube friends, this is Brian with BG Model Workshop, coming back again to let you know that the little brown Jeep is done. This little guy turned out pretty well. I'm really happy with it. No real major problems at all. The paint polished up pretty well. Again, I didn't gloss it, I just polished it with some sanding films and a little bit of polishing compound. The seat color is actually Tester's Model Master wood. That comes out as a flat, and I wanted to give it a little more of a gloss, so I used a Rust-Oleum gloss coat just right out of the rattle can, and that made it look a lot like a vinyl color. I really like that. It gives it that kind of aged look. I did a little bit of a dirt wash on there to help bring everything out. And of course, you know, it's a Jeep. It's sitting out in the sun and the dirt and everything. So it's getting its age that way. Nothing really tricky to the Jeep again. I did add one of these little tubes here that I'm waving around right now as an exhaust tip to give it a little extra pizzazz. In the back here again we just have the steel spare tire. One complaint I do have about the kit is the decals. The license plates here, California has never produced a license plate to my knowledge with that particular color scheme on it. And the register, which is, you know, how the colors are matching up to the other colors and everything, is really bad. The orange lettering is bleeding all over the place. I don't really like it. I do have some other aftermarket license plates on order, and I'm hoping those turn out better. Also, these are much larger than the license plate frames are, so I'm hoping that the new ones that I have coming in will be a little better fit and a little better look. Again, we just did a little bit of shrink tubing for the roll bars for padding and everything, and because we can see the seams in the backside here, I'm thinking that maybe I'll go over it with some black thread and tie that down so it looks like zip tie or something like that, because of course this was a budget build restoration Jeep. So the hood turned out pretty good, not a lot of flaws, hardly at all any actually. I probably will do a little bit of a wash on the hinge brackets here, so that brings it out a little bit so it just doesn't look like all one piece. And then in the engine bay, let's see if we can see in there. Yeah, about right. So in the engine bay, no spark plug wiring, just left it all box stock. Wanted to do a fast little build. I did do a little bit of dry brushing with gold to bring out the radiator a little bit here. And then just used the stock hose pipe that came with the kit for the upper radiator hose. There is no lower radiator hose with the kit, I just left it that way. But the major issue under the hood here is this oil bath air cleaner, which I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's a little crooked. The tube that comes from the air cleaner to the actual car was so long, I actually cut it, shortened it, put it back together again, and then it ended up being underneath the tie rod here. So, I'm sorry, the radiator bracket rod, and I just couldn't get it any better than that. And then suddenly the glue dried, and there I was. So I'm going to figure out a different way to do that. Maybe if somebody has a suggestion in the suggestion box, I'm going to look for some photos on Google to see if I can find a way to kind of do that authentically without getting too crazy with that. But then again, there it is. The little brown Jeep is done. I had a lot of fun. It's the AMT Erdl. It's known as the Swamp Rat, but it also has many different connotations, like also Daisy Duke's Jeep from the Dukes of Hazzard, and the Bushwhacker, and a couple of other crazy names. But I think the only discerning feature in those is the sticker packets that come with it. Everything else is pretty much the same. Would I build another one of these again? Yes, I would, as a matter of fact. And I got some ideas while I was working on this little guy of maybe doing like a rock crawler style, where the back end is narrowed along with the front end is narrowed, and then raised up with some wicked suspension, some really cool looking rock crawler wheels, and then maybe even doing an exterior roll cage that goes around the outside of the vehicle. Those are always pretty trick. But this little guy is a lot of fun. It's going to look good on my shelf. I have a niece in Alaska that just absolutely adores Jeeps. And since I'm down in Arizona, Mailing this thing to her is probably not going to be a good idea. It's going to get crushed and destroyed and everything, no matter how well I packaged it. So, Michaela, I hope you enjoy this. It was probably not the color you would have picked, but I hope you liked it anyways. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.